Ethereum, so I'm back. And I'm just kind of having fun with this because I don't even know when I'm going to be able to upload next month because we have to figure out these things like cash and shit. My mom got me fucking fired, so, you know, I have to deal with that, and now my internet's going to cut off all of a sudden, and, you know, it is what it is. You know, I don't mind suffering and being poor. I really don't. Because that's not my main concern right now. Because it just is what it is. This is a part of the economy. I gotta go through with y'all. There's no problem with that. But that doesn't mean we give up. You know, because I have to use it to get through certain things that I have to pay for, but I can't just keep paying a bill with no cash flow. It just can't happen. It's not gonna work. So we have to figure that out. And you know, all these different companies, they try to do this, and this in order to run your pockets. So, you know, I'm just trying to get through whatever I need to get through these next couple months so that I don't have to worry too much. But, you know, my family, I'm not, you know, even really here to bring family drama to YouTube, but, you know, black people work like this. They want to learn how to read and write. You want to tell me dumb shit about civil rights for all of my life. And when it comes to shove, and when it comes to the real moment, motherfucking black people don't want to use reading and writing to do mathematics in order to get money. So fuck them. Fuck them. Like, not even on no racist shit. I'm not gonna be surrounding myself with a bunch of slave, N-word mindset, like, and I mean like hard R type shit, like in a way where, like, you're just, you hate being black, but you love the butter biscuits. Okay, that's what you are. You just on the field close to the house, but you're not invited in the house. You wish you could get in a house, but you don't know that it takes beyond the slave mindset in order to ride in that like Little Boy Blue. You know what I'm saying? In order to ride in that like Little Boy Blue, like the movie Django, you know, like not even saying, no, I'm not gonna lie, that is fiction, meaning not real, not real. Not real. If you think that I'm talking about something that's real, you need to look up Martin Luther King. Because that's the way I go about personally, you know, with these civil rights. That's the way I like to look at it. Because if you're doing it through any other operation but love and peace, you're not going to actually have a message that sticks around. Why do you think Malcolm X isn't brought up as significantly often as Martin Luther King? Because he was a perpetuator of violence. And because of that, you know, you have two different groups that justify themselves on the outcomes of, and I'm not saying Malcolm X was a bad guy because, you know, he went to jail, and then even MLK went to jail, but he wrote that letter on that toilet paper and had that whole Million Man March. That was powerful, but that was only able to be done with peace. In fact, let's see if we can find some clips, because I haven't the phone, okay, well, it got turned off. Let me just leave it off for now. Let me look it up on a different device. Here we go, right here. So let's look up MLK MLK speech, because MLK wasn't a perfect guy, but he was a proponent of.
As the greatest demonstration for freedom in the history of our nation.
And that's what this is about. If you literally thought that it wasn't, if you literally thought that it wasn't, because I'll tell you this: two people that lived the exact same way. One believed in Christ, one didn't. They both got assassinated. They both got assassinated. I remember I saw the Malcolm X movie, not that recent one, but the one where it was a guy who made Crooklyn. Crooklyn was a 1994 film. It's a movie. It's about a mom and she's trying to get by for the family, and it's a coming of age story because unfortunately the mom dies and the girl has to step up and take care of everybody. This is a Spike Lee OG film. I'm gonna speed it up. It's like OG films. You know, if you're white, I'm sorry, it's not gonna make any sense to you. But if you are white and you want to understand like a non-perpetuated violence black experience where it's somebody trying to make it out the hood without going through all that criminal intent and et cetera, et cetera. It's in New York though. It's kind of like the first coming to America. But the reason why I'm making, I forgot what I named this video actually. I literally forgot. Let me check the live stream because I actually forgot what what the setup was for this video. Enhanced body, but yeah, that's what I was saying. Basically, I'm talking to my fellow black bodybuilders. It's just you guys waste your genetics by going enhanced, and then after you go enhanced, you become a cancer. And the reason I'm saying that is because what does a cancer cell do? It hides itself for years with a mask, and then off of that, right, hides itself with that mask. It does what it needs to do to hide. So, when you're trying to play the game, copy like the other cells and hide out. And then they're like, wait a minute. One of y'all dancing is off. Which one of y'all is a cancer cell? The cancer cell's like, well, it's not me. And then it's just hiding other cancer cells behind it. The red blood cells like, hold on, my homie just got. Let me call a white blood cell to check you out. That white blood cell scans that up and down. And it's like, nah, he's all right, let him go. Cancer spreads. It's the same thing. These people cosplay as natural for multiple years on end. And then when they switch up to grams of test and they can't hide it anymore, then they want to claim that's my first cycle. Nigga, the timelines are completely off. Everybody's fucking dying. Nobody in this sport lives to see the age of 100. Nobody, which is the sad part. And when you're talking about longevity, by the time C-Bum started worrying about that, C-Bum, how many years have you given up, and when are you finally going to realize it was never worth it? Even with all the millions, even with the girl by your side, would she even be with you if you weren't C-Bum? Because that's some cold ass shit right there, to face the facts. If you didn't do all those years shortening your life, you think if you really stopped off cycle, she was going to stay with you? Like, come on, you really think? No, that's not how it works. It's not how it works, fam. And Kevin Levrone, he's a prime example of somebody who wasn't taking it to the levels of, if you're gonna be like doing enhanced cancerous bodybuilding, like again, you're cosplaying one way and then you want to pretend another way. And then what's cancerous about it, why the fuck are you eating, gorging yourself in the pursuit to get stronger? Mine, I must train, I must train. And you're fueling your ego, you're fueling your pride, and you're not actually gonna benefit off the exercises because you think you're supposed to go in that bitch on some angry shit every time. It's okay to get it out of the gym, right? But you have to go into it peaceful. If you lift when you're angry, your anger is just going to continue to increase the more you lift. And that's why bodybuilders with these roid rages and shit, they be thinking they Superman. Like, you seen the downfall of Wes Watson, you seen the downfall of Conor Murphy, you seen the downfall if you watch Coach Colton, which he's very relevant in the scene. He has literally 10% of 1 million followers. That's mainstream in the bodybuilding news. He's not the biggest, but that's mainstream bodybuilding, right? He's big on the scene. And when you look at it from that perspective, like he said, he would have to inject all the way down to the subcutaneous skin level in order for these substances to work, and he would hate it. And that level, that's the level right before muscle. Like, just before muscle. That's the level right before muscle. So you mean to tell me all these guys penning for the rest of their life, that they have to pen, all these careers are hinged on 4 pharmaceutical companies, maybe 10. But bodybuilding is ran by the pharmacy. You know, if you're getting pharma grade shit, the reason why it's illegal, you're still trafficking a controlled substance. So it won't matter. It won't matter. And then just based off that, like, how should I put it? Hold on. I had to text somebody. Sorry. Yeah, I know. I had to scratch my butt. Sorry, dude. It happens. I wasn't digging for gold though. You know, outside pants, not inside. Inside is weird. But like I was saying, um, the entire idea is that the premise is literally the idea that good at time. The idea is that just because I want to say someone is doing bodybuilding, like Alex Eubank, for example. Alex Eubank switched up on God. That was fucked up. That was fucked up. You gotta think about this. You gonna preach Christianity to get clout, and as soon as you get the clout, you're not. He's talking about, well, I'm thinking about trying a little bit of tea. I'm on light to moderate doses. I'm like, bruh, Alex, I saw your account when you had 11,000 followers. Yeah, you blew up and you surpassed me for certain, but that doesn't mean from my perspective on the inside, I don't see every single level you switch up on. At first it was, oh, I just want 100K on TikTok and 10K on Instagram. And then it never ends with you, Alex Eubank. It never ends with you. You used to be a good guy when you were natural, and I don't mean, oh, you mean when I was poor and I didn't have cars that you don't have, so then you're jealous. No, you're jealous. No, nigga, fuck the cars. Who are you without the cars? Who are you without the clout? Like, what the fuck? You think you can play clout games with me, bro? I'm one of the main inventors of clout. Before you came to the TikTok scene, I was dominating that bitch. Yeah, I was surpassed, but I was dominating for a season. Don't act like that didn't happen. People want to be like, oh, well, you're not relevant. Have you ever been relevant and had your peak moments in social media, and then you're waiting for you build through your quiet years, and you still become successful even though you're not the most famous person on the fucking planet? You build a slow career, you have your options, you're never just on one platform, because if you get banned somewhere, you gotta be able to revive somewhere else. So, that's why I make these YouTube videos, but I'm not calling Alex Eubank specifically a cancer. I think cancer of bodybuilding is that influencer cycle shit and that Olympia level shit. I'll give you an example. I'm gonna pull up an account. What's it called? Hold on. Ooh, fuck. Okay, it still works. I accidentally sat on my computer. What was his name? Ryan. So, what's his name? Ryan Casey. Yeah, let's look him up. So, basically, we have what I would like to say a case. Ryan Casey. He used to be, what you want to avoid is this. The whole big platform, you have the collaborations, but it's just history. And that's as far as your career goes. When it's just history, and it's just, okay, but you see along the way, like, what really happened, Q&A with David Lade and Dylan McKenna. Moving in with David Lade, new bench max. Joining Gymshark at 17 years old. This is before, like, all the times that, and then he was also fake natural the whole fucking time. Every single one of them were. Every single one of them were. Dylan started running shit. David started running shit. And Ryan Casey, his genetics couldn't handle it. Because you gotta ask why I stopped eating. What I did to transform in 4 months. He got exposed for SARMs. He got exposed for SARMs already. So you see what I'm saying? When people are like, oh, I lost myself. No, nigga, you got off roids, you went off cycle, and you were addicted to being on cycle while you told yourself the whole time that you weren't going to get addicted. He's just one example. He's just one example in the scene. And it's not even funny because when you're in the scene this deep, talking about shit that happened in 2018 that people can't even remember anymore, shit that happened 5 years ago that you can't even remember, it's about that slow, consistent growth. It's about that slow, consistent growth. Because after a while, the views aren't enough. After a while, you know how many Instagram followers you have, and you get your account deactivated, and da 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 da, and they steal your clout. That's what they're gonna do, bro. That's the game. They are gonna steal your clout. They are gonna make sure you can't come back. The point being is, don't become a fucking cancer for an industry where you're guaranteed and promised nothing. That's worse than stock market gambling. And I'll leave it there.